note we got yesterday from Dan Graziani on NFL Live. Colt McCoy got the entire team together right after that loss, talked to the whole group, gave them a speech. This team needs a leader badly. You can't argue that, and it looks like they could potentially have found one there with Colt McCoy. So, Wood, I'm going to come to you first on this. As soon as you send that text, I'm bringing this right to you.
Yeah, I'll send it to Joe.
It's all good. Like,
you get that, Joe?
It's all working
now.
It's all working. Actually, Joe. All right, so with Colt McCoy, what does he bring to that offense that you like?
You just said it, leadership. And when he came in last week, he came in after Alex Smith broke his leg. He comes right in the game, and he leads him to a touchdown. And this kid is, there's a swagger about him. There's a confidence about him. He's played in big games before. And in 2014, he goes to Dallas and throws for 219 yards passing. And I think this kid will not be overwhelmed by this situation. And the Cowboys are a team where they know they've had the experience of going up against Colt McCoy and what he can do. So they'll be prepared for him, but he will not be overwhelmed. He will have another big day in Dallas again this week.
Why don't they go let's get to Sanchez, because I know he's going to be the backup. He's been with 3 of these coaches before. Why do they go get him? Is it a coaching thing? You think he's going to end up playing? What are you hearing about?
Well, they brought in 5 quarterbacks that they wanted to look at on Monday. That include Kellen Clemens, T.J. Yates, E.J. Manuel, Josh Johnson, and Mark Sanchez. And what I was hearing is that they were looking for quarterbacks who were very familiar with their scheme and the coaches. Each of these guys somehow have a connection to John Gruden, Jay Gruden, or what have you. Ultimately going with Mark Sanchez, who has a connection to Matt Cavanaugh, who was the quarterback's coach with the Jets. But the interesting question of what I really wanted to get at is why didn't they consider, Kaepernick? And obviously this has been an ongoing discussion since last year, what have you. But as each of these quarterback positions come open, as you get deeper and deeper into the season, and what was different about the Redskins guys is that they had no other quarterbacks on the roster, not even the practice squad. So I really wanted to understand, it wasn't just, they were in an emergency quarterback situation. And they still didn't go there. And what I was told is that they didn't talk about it at all. It didn't come up. The question that came back to me was, when was the last time Kaepernick was in camp? He said, the media, you guys always want to talk about the Kaepernick name when a quarterback position, comes up. But here's the thing. Look at the recent Des Bryant situation. Can't just bring guys off the street and then next thing you know, you have an Achilles situation. And so the last thing really, guys, I just thought was interesting real quick is that I asked, but what about the comparison of Adrian Peterson? Because there's a situation where everyone was like, oh, he's done. You can't bring him off the street. And now he has over 700 rushing yards and 6 touchdowns. And the answer that I got back was the running back position is different from the quarterback position. And the difference with Adrian Peterson is that he was in camp last year. And the last thing that I thought was really, really interesting that was said to me for the people at home was that the person I was speaking to said, when was the last time that you've heard Kaepernick say he wants to play? Every time these quarterback positions come up, it's always the media advocating, but somehow it feels like to this person in the organization, like he's behind the shadow. So if you really want it, like a Michael Bennett, even though he was involved in these social justice protests and all these other things, you've always heard them make it clear. Des Bryant making it clear on Twitter, they want to play, but you're not, in their estimation, getting that from Colin Kaepernick. So there's your answer right there.
Adrian Peterson follow-up pretty smooth.
I mean, right there, like Thanksgiving dinner was right there.
Smooth. Joe, the best. All right, so let's get to the receivers in Washington because they really don't have anybody great on that roster. Jordan Reed, the leading guy by over 100 yards, and he plays tight end. Do they need something else if they're going to make any kind of a run?
Well, I think this game in particular is going to come down to really about the passing game for both teams. Because both these defenses are good. Those front sevens, both for Dallas and Washington. And I know they're 2 run offenses, with Adrian Peterson and Ezekiel Elliott. But at the end of the day, those defenses are going to have a lot to say about that. And I think that's going to be tough sledding. Not that they're not going to try, all right, but it's going to be tough sledding. And it's going to come down to who executes best in the passing game. You got Colt McCoy coming in. I know he's been in those meeting rooms all year long, but it's still a short week. And they got to get him up to speed, getting those reps. They're not live reps typically on that short week. I mean, they're walk-through type of reps. And I just think Dak Prescott and the receiving corps from Dallas is going to win out in that matchup.
Jordan Reed's the guy you expect him to play well because he's going to dominate the middle of the field. They're going to find mismatches for him. But the guy that I'm looking at is Josh Dotson. He's going to have to take his game to the next level in order for them to win this game. And he's going to have one-on-one coverage matched up on the outside. He has to win his battles because this is going to be a 4-quarter game, and there's going to be some splash plays at the end of this game that are going to have to be made, and Josh Dotson's got to be that guy.
Can I just say that I got a turkey bone to pick with this one here?
Please.
Because you just said that you
here.
Really believe? You really believe? I'm keeping the Thanksgiving here. I got my yellow wine with the. Okay, so you were just talking about you have faith in Colt McCoy and that he's been with the team and that they can lead him on. But the thing that I feel like I really want to point out is to me it's kind of similar to Ryan Fitzpatrick, right? Comes up and when the situation is not really pressure filled, and so even though he came in and led them to a touchdown drive, he didn't come in as the starter. So what I'm looking for is to see how Colt McCoy can do it when everything is on his shoulders from start to finish as the starter over the length of the season.
No. We're talking about a one-game situation because every NFL game is played as the next game up.
Exactly.
This is the next game up. And if history repeats itself, the Cowboys don't want that repeating itself because they saw Colt McCoy throw for 299 yards and win a game on a Thursday in a short week, and that is a problem. So that's
McCoy on the back of your suit.
No, hey, you know what I'm riding.
All right, we got to wrap this around. Get fired. Very fireable.
You don't want that, Jack.
The Falcons are coming off the loss of those Cowboys and have lost 2 in a row. But in New Orleans, it's a 9-game win streak, and they haven't been close. 25 touchdowns, 1 interception for the smoothest pilot in the sky. It is Drew Brees. Drew Brees and Matty Ice have met 20 times with Brees holding a 12-8 edge in their head-to-head.
When I step on the field, I feel like I can see it before it happens, and it takes a lot of work to get to that point. And listen, that doesn't mean that there's not surprises. There's always surprises. That's part of what you expect. You expect to see surprises. You expect to see the team that you're going against have a wrinkle that maybe you didn't expect or that you weren't anticipating. And then it's your job to have a plan for it, have an answer for it, have an adjustment for it. But I feel good playing the game right now.
So Drew Brees and Matty Ice have met 20 times, like we said, 12-8 edge in their head-to-head. Tomorrow night, we'll tie them with Jim Kelly, great Jim Kelly, and Dan Marino for the most meetings between 2 quarterbacks in the Super Bowl era, including the playoffs. Brees and Ryan's team have combined for 1,030 points. How about that? In 20 matchups. That is the most for any quarterback matchup in the Super Bowl era. We've got a lot of points this week, a lot of points discussion this week. Time for Making Smarter Decisions, brought to you by IBM Watson. We're looking to make some smart decisions. We only got one guy that we go to. I got Wood. What are you looking at? 2 running backs. What they're doing?
The dynamic duo. And when you see these 2 on the field at the same time, Mark Ingram, who's going to be back here as your running back position, and then you have Alvin Kamara on the field at the same time, you always think there's going to be some type of eye candy here for the defense. And when the defense gets some eye candy, that means their vision is going to go to this guy right here. Who's the big hitter? This is the big hitter right here again. It's Alvin Kamara, the guy that they're going to keep their eyes on, and the false steps. So the eyes get back in the backfield. Here are the eyes all over again. The eyes are in the backfield, looking at Alvin Kamara, and it takes that little hesitation for this to happen. Guys get hooked. Here's a player that gets hooked right here. Another one coming out here on the linebacker to get hooked right there. And now you got a situation where you got blockers in front. You got a hook blocker right here. You got a lead up blocker right here. This guy's placed off. And now you get the big yards for Mark Ingram. All because Alvin Kamara set this thing up the right way with the jet sweep motion. And again, we come right back to it. Here's your guy, Alvin Kamara, right here again. He's the guy that all the eye candy is going to go here again, and you're going to see the vision. Some of these guys are already thinking about, okay, here's Kamara. We're going to be out of position. Here's Kamara. We're going to be out of position. And their eyes are looking at Kamara, and there we go with Mark Ingram on the backside. And what we're seeing here is we're seeing the screen game get set up. Here's the screen game getting set up. Where are those eyes? They're back over here. They're back over here, looking at Kamara. Here comes the screen game, and it gives the offensive guard time to get this pancake block, which we all love to see right here. That's the pancake block. That's what you get with Mark Ingram. And now I'm telling you, there's no one in the league right now that can finish like Mark Ingram. He finishes off runs. He makes the big plays when they happen, and it's because Alvin Kamara is always a guy who's always a decoy on the other side.
Smooth.